tier list. Today we got the new free-to-play mech shooter Steel Hunters. I've been really enjoying it, but let me know down in the comments what you guys think about your favorite and least favorite hunters here. We're going to do our best to put them in their best spot, so please don't forget to like and subscribe, and there will definitely be some more Steel Hunters content coming for sure. We got to start with the best hunter in the game by far, Ursus. I mean, so I'm making this tier list based on essentially just base stock um, hunter, not all of these upgrades. Obviously, if you upgrade them all the way to level 40, there's definitely some OP things you can do. But just the base hunter Ursus itself is so fucking good. I mean, it's the best close range hunter in the game with the auto shotgun. Then has the most health and most shields in the game. On top of that, then gets the homing missiles, which is a nice, at least mid-range weapon for them to get in, and then has the ability to obviously have the glacier shield, essentially get double shield, not double, but can redo a full shield again, which is crazy with the tankiest mech hunter in the game here. And I mean, there's just nothing bad to say about him, or her, I should say. Yeah, it's just such a good unit. Good at every range except long range, but most of your fights aren't even going to be long range anyway. Um, at least not for a long time. So yeah, there's just so many good things. Such a good kit, such a good weapon, and you don't even have to fully reload the weapon either. You can just reload each shell instead of, every other hunter, you have to get the full reload going. With Ursus, you can actually just, get partial reload to where you get another shot from your shotgun and shoot it and keep going like that if you have to. So, yeah, there's just like literally no downside to using Ursus, which I think it'll probably be nerfed, but it's definitely um, probably the best mech in the game for sure. Like, it's probably not really even close. Definitely, if it is, it's not by um, a crazy margin. Ursus is just, yeah, it's way too good. Um, Weaver, I almost want to put into S as well, but I think I'm gonna go. Weaver is hard. Weaver is definitely A. I might put him in S as well. Biggest reason is their shield is very good. Um, but I do think most of the time it's destroyed pretty easily. Obviously, it depends on which shield you go with. Um, the main weapon, as long as it's not the burst is definitely not good. The fully auto gun is actually pretty decent. The minigun is, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit lackluster to me. Yeah, I think, and there's a thing too about Ursus is that obviously before you level up and get all of your abilities, Ursus having the most shield and the most health in the game, definitely nice for the first, few levels into the game, which honestly is why a lot of the other hunters struggle, at times for sure. So I think for now we're going to leave Weaver in A. I might put him up into S because their kit is super good and definitely a good amount of damage output and shield as well and all of that. I think, again, at least for me, the minigun just doesn't feel like it should. It doesn't shred as much as I feel like it should, which kind of drops him down a little bit for me, but I might put him up into S. Heartbreaker. I almost never put anybody into D, but I think Heartbreaker might be one of the first people in any tier list I put into D. But I think I'll put him into C, her, sorry, because God, it's like the kit is so bad. Scanning somebody in this game is almost useless. I feel like 90% of the time, if you are anywhere near somebody, they're going to show on the map. You're going to know where they are. And if they move, like, you're still going to know where they move to without having to scan them. Sometimes they can get a little lost if they use some abilities like Fenrris, um, but I mean, aside from that, or even another Heartbreaker, but aside from that, like most of the time, they're not hard to still see. And while I understand that Heartbreaker is a sniper and you're not going to have, like 30 bullets in the mag, only doing about 1,000 per shot, give or take a little bit, um, like if you're hitting all your shots, okay, but most of the time you're going to miss or something is going to, get in the way, whether that's a teammate or a Weaver shield or, some form of environment or whatever to where those like 5 to 6 shots that you have are just not going to all hit. So at best you're going to break their shield and that's it, which, great start, but then, what's in your kit? Okay, you can go visible, which is not too insanely hard to track in this game. The invisibility, whether it's Fenris, which is not actually invisible, it's definitely very visible and can see. It's more just like an invulnerability ability than anything. But yeah, Heartbreaker is the worst hunter in this game. So I would highly suggest not using it. Um, I feel like the only way it's good is if you have an actual squad mate that you're communicating with. Aside from that, especially if you have an AI teammate, which is a terrible AI in this game to have as a teammate, no matter who you're playing with. But aside from that, yeah, Heartbreaker is just terrible. There's honestly nothing really good to say about him. If you want to snipe and have at least more usefulness to yourself and your teammate, I would do Prophet, but even Prophet, I'm only going to put into B. It's really not that good. Again, not a whole lot of damage output. No movement or survivability. At least Heartbreaker does have the invisibility to use for a moment. But Prophet is decent if you're like, let's say you're holding the extraction point and you put out your drone. That's nice. Or even if you're behind somewhere and you're trying to shield or something, put down your drone for some help. But the missile, as his other ability, is just way too inconsistent. Even if you drop it right on somebody, all of the, missile drops are not going to hit that person. It's very just scattered. Um, so his kit is just super inconsistent and very specifically used for certain situations and not always useful compared to other people. Weaver in any fight, even if you're attacking some squad drones or anybody else, the shield is always good. The minigun is always a nice thing to use, but with Prophet, it's just kind of like, specific fights he is more useful than others, but also his regular gun is still not going to do a whole lot of damage. The only reason why he's higher than Heartbreaker is honestly his kit is just better, because you're not going to ever really need to scan anybody in this game. Again, 90% of the time you're going to know where they're at, and then the invisibility is nice, but I mean, again, in this game, it's not hard to necessarily track it, and it's not a big deal, nor does it last a very long time. So yeah, it's not the best kit. It's definitely the worst kit. So Profits is a little bit better. Um, Guns are about the same. Um, so it is what it is there. Let's see. Trench Walker. So here's the thing. Trench Walker, the regular gun is not that great. Same with Razor Side. They have two of the worst guns in the game. As far as like actual damage output, they are the lowest. Not to say that they can't be up there, because obviously they're the few that have automatic weapons. Um, but Trenchwalker is definitely the best teammate in the game for sure. Weaver is definitely a close second with the shield and everything, but Trenchwalker being able to keep himself alive with the leech gun, which is good in pretty much any scenario. You're losing health, you need some health, you're in a close fight, that can definitely win you the fight or save you. And then the grenade, being able to heal yourself, your teammates, and damage enemies is just so good. Um, I just think, yeah, I think it has to be S. Minimum, I wouldn't argue if you would say A, but it's definitely like A, S area, just because, again, while his main weapon is not that great, um, being able to keep yourself alive in this game is huge, especially because after a lot of people use their abilities, you're kind of down to the nitty gritty of, who can, reload, who can get their ability off again, who can, get some help from the teammate or whatever. So being able to have such a good kit is so nice because, again, being able to leech gun, you're doing damage, you're getting that health back, which is obviously keeping you alive. And then if you do the grenade, again, you're healing yourself, possibly your teammate or just your teammate, and you're doing damage if the enemy is in that as well. So super great kit. I think it's definitely one of the best kits in the game. Um, Definitely not the best damage output for sure, but you can't have it all. So definitely a solid choice for sure. Fenris. Fenris is so hard because the mortar strikes, or the mortar shots, I should say, his regular ability is good. If you're hitting your shots, you're doing a whole lot of damage. Um, the problem is the rest of his kit. The going in and out of invulnerability but not invisibility is okay, definitely situational, but his other ability where he's shooting the, energy ball that's slowing enemies and then doing damage, it's honestly just not good. It's way too slow, way too easy to get away from, especially depending on where it is shot from. But yeah, it's just way too inconsistent there. I think I'm gonna put him in B, mostly just because his kit, um, his kit just doesn't work well with itself. So you have somebody that's supposed to be highly mobile, but has a long range weapon that you're almost supposed to go close range with the kit, being able to shoot the energy ball as well as, move in and out, which only makes sense if you're going into a fight or coming out of it, which does work with him, but like his regular mortar shot gun doesn't really go super well with that. It's pretty slow. While it does do high damage, it's just like his kit just doesn't flow very well compared to some other people. Ursus, you got, you know, Glacier Shield going in. You have a mid-range weapon with the homing missiles. You got the full auto shotgun, obviously gets you close range, and his kit kind of designs her to be able to do that. So it's, you know, and even with Weaver, stand behind his shield, blow down with a minigun, or just his regular full auto gun, or even the burst, like that goes well. Fenris, not so much. Then we have Razorside. I'm going to put Razorside in A. I do think he is decent. While his regular auto gun is not the best damage output, it's definitely, I think it's actually the lowest. Trenchwalkers might be the lowest, but it's close. I forget which one is actually lowest. I think it is Razorside's, but um, full auto in this game is definitely nice. It's consistent, but low damage output. Now, the biggest reason why he's an A is definitely not his frag. His frag is definitely not good. Very easy to get away from. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, even if you hit somebody with it. But the biggest reason he's an A is his double shield. Being able to fully shield yourself twice um, is massive in this game. You basically have, you know, fully double the amount as of health or shield as you can have in any given fight. So it definitely makes him can be hard to take care of and kill because you break down his shield, maybe get some of his health, he shields again. You break down that shield again, maybe get some of his health, and then he shields again. And, you know, he's just there constantly with damn near full health. So it's definitely a super strong ability that he has, and that's the first one he gets. Again, his grenade is no big deal. Very easy to get away from, doesn't do a whole lot of damage anyway. And his, you know, full auto gun is not really anything to be worried about. You're going to out damage him with pretty much any other gun in the game, but he's going to have more health than you pretty much always. The only person that might have more health than you or be able to keep up in that regard is Weaver with the shield, which again is destroyed. You can do things to increase it, but again, I'm trying to do, you know, base stock them, just their weapons, just their abilities, not any of the, you know, upgrades you can get with them. Or Ursus, who can obviously essentially do what Razorside does, which is get, you know, a free thing of shield, but only once. But Ursus does have more shield to begin with, so it's almost the same, except Ursus's kit is just way better. So yeah, please let me know down in the comments what you guys think about your favorite and least favorite steel hunters in the game. Obviously, if you have all the upgrades and you're level 40 with any of these guys, like, they're going to be good and very different. But overall, this is where I would place everybody as far as consistency and usefulness of their kit and who you should be playing and leveling up as, and, you know, making better. So again, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys